Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I think a lot of us are feeling a bit bored sitting around and also watching too much TV during this coronavirus quarantine. And I think it's a good time for us to use this free time to do things that can improve ourselves through maybe doing some courses or even reading some books. So today, I would like to introduce to you three of my personal favorite personal finance books. And I thought that maybe you should also read it yourself. My name is Calvin and I'm from Wealth Insiders. In this channel, I will normally create videos on how to create multiple streams of income and also about how to manage debts. And at the same time, I will also be giving some investment ideas on how you can be financially free. And of course, the long-term goal is that you retire earlier than your peers. So if you like these kind of topics, do click on the subscribe button and also click the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So let's jump in. The first book that I want to introduce is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think you all probably have heard of this author, Robert Kiyosaki. I know he's a controversial guy. He gets into a lot of people don't like him. But I think there's something that you can learn from him. In fact, when I first read this book in the year 2000, it changed my mind. It changed my mind. And in fact, this book was the one that started me on the journey to be financially free, and that how I can retire by at 45 years old. Yeah. So this book actually is about two dads. I mean, he called it Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Two different people. One is actually his real dad, and one is his good friend, his best friend's dad. So both have different ideas on managing money, two different mindsets. And so how he compares one dad versus the other dad. And you can find that there are a lot in this book, there are a lot of principles that I think that we can apply in our lives. For example, many of us think that our house is an asset. Well, in this book, it says that our house is not really an asset, it's really a liability. In Robert's definition is that a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, while an asset is something that will put money into your pocket. So by that definition, when you buy your house, when you have your house, what actually happens is that you have to pay a lot of things. Yeah, you may have cleared the mortgage. You're no longer owing the bank any money, but yet you're still paying rates. A lot of things that you have to pay so that you can own your house. So this is something that I think that we can take away with. For example, like the other one is your car. Many of us think that a car is actually our asset. Well, it is not. Because why? The moment you drive your car out of the dealer's shop, the moment you come out of it, guess what happens? The value of the car drops, and it's not an asset, because every year you will still need to pay things to maintain the car, petrol and maintenance and all sorts of things. So a car is not really your asset. So by reading this book, I think that you will probably be able to, just like me 20 years ago, able to transform your mindset into thinking, into consciously thinking, what is it that you are buying, and what is it that you are in fact accumulating. So in fact, this is the book, like I said, that sets me off, and that's how I have become financially free, and how I stopped working, holding a full-time job at the age of 45. So I highly recommend this book as a way of starting and changing your mind. The next book that I want to introduce to you is called Creating Wealth by Robert G. Allen. Robert Allen is one of another favorite author. In fact, I have met him personally, and this book is special to me too. You know why? Because there you are. It's an autographed copy from Robert Allen. Yeah. So Robert Allen himself is an interesting character because why? He's famous for challenges. Before I talk about it, he is also the author of the book Nothing Down, which is a bestseller in the US. So now I was saying that he is all very famous for challenges, and among the challenges that he had made, and which is very famous, is that in order to draw people to hear him speak, he this is part of his marketing speech, right? So he said, "Send me to any city, take away my wallet, give me $100 for living expenses, and in 72 hours, I will buy an excellent property with none of my own money." Great challenge, right? So what happened was the Los Angeles Times took him up on the challenge. What they did was they took him and they sent him to San Francisco, took away his wallet, and then just gave him $100. And so what he did was, in that time that he was in San Francisco, he bought 6 properties from 4 different owners within 57 hours, and even managed to give back to the reporter $20. So it illustrates that it is possible. I mean, in his case, it's possible for him to buy property with no money down, with none of his own money, and at the same time able to buy them good properties. Yeah, so this property, though it says creating wealth, it's really a real estate investment book. It teaches you some of the things that is how do you invest, and of course some of the advice that is from this book is really based in the US. But for the rest of us outside the US, some of the things I think it still applies. You can still, some of these concepts, the way you do things still applies. Because one of the things that he always advocate is that it must be a win-win situation between the buyer and the seller. So normally what he wants to, because a lot of us use the real estate agents to buy property, and we don't really have an opportunity to meet the seller. So what he recommends is that we actually have an opportunity to know why the seller is selling, because by doing that we can, maybe the seller is selling because needs money fast. So then you're able to structure your negotiation so that the seller can get cash quick, or it could be other reasons. So if you're able to know the reason why a seller is selling the property, then you're able to fulfill this, so that at least the seller gets what they want. So this is one of the things that all of us can learn from this book. Okay, but very his famous quote that I took it to heart. I take it to heart is that he says, "Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait." Right? And this is what he advocates. So that's why I myself buy property, and I myself buy property to rent. Right? So what happens is that he has also have other books. He has books on creating multiple streams of income, from internet to a lot of other books that you can. So he's a quite interesting author. So again, this is the second book that I would like to recommend for you to read during this time when you're stuck at home, right? So if you think that this advice that I'm sharing is is you find it interesting. So I would recommend that you would appreciate it very much if you could put a like at the bottom here, because it will help me in my channel. And also if you haven't done it earlier, subscribe. All right, at here, subscribe and click onto the bell, so that the next time I share some more, upload any more new videos, and that's you will get notified from it. Question of the day: what kind of books do you like to read? What kind of personal finance books do you like to read? I would appreciate if you could put some comments below, and write down some of the books that you like to read, some of the personal finance books that you like to read. Maybe I will also pick up some of the things that you like as well. The last book that I'm going to recommend is called The Millionaire Next Door, written by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. Right? This book is quite interesting, right? Because this book will tell you some of the secrets of the wealthy people in the United States. This book was written as a result of a survey done. The survey was given to 1,000 people. In fact, 1,000 wealthy people, right? And each of them were given a set of questions, in fact, a set of 249 questions. And from that list of questions, the answers, and you'll find they are all written in this book. And there are surprising stuff coming out from this survey, right? One of the thing that for me anyway is surprising is that when you're wealthy, that you find that many of the wealthy people do not necessarily live in very upscale neighborhood. So that means those people who are wealthy, they don't necessarily stay in those places where there's nice houses, nice houses. And also they discover is that people who live in nice houses and drive nice cars, they are not necessarily wealthy. And it is quite surprising for a lot of us, right? And the other thing that it says in this book is that they find that they condense all the answers into 7 factors and of how you and I can become wealthy. And one of them is actually changing our mindset, right? The changing our mindset is that these people who are wealthy or going to be wealthy, they will live below their means. Meaning, when I earn $100 and I spend $100, I'm not wealthy. In fact, I have no way that I'm going to be wealthy. But on the other hand, if I earn $100 and I spend, let's say, $70, what happens is that extra $30 you will save, or you can use it to invest into vehicles. Some of the things that the vehicles that we can invest in, of course, is things like the unit trust and things like that, which we can actually funnel it into this unit trust on a monthly basis, right? And if on the other hand you want to invest in vehicles like maybe real estate, for example, then maybe these $30 you'll probably have to accumulate a bit. Then from there you will buy a down payment for deposit for the property. So what happens is they live below their means. So if you're planning to be wealthy, you have to live below your means. Okay. The other thing that they notice is that one of the 7 factors, right, is that people who are going to be wealthy, or who are wealthy, they value their financial independence more than anything else. They value it, they consider it very, very important to be financially free, right? So they'll take steps to be financially free. Instead of using whatever money that they have, they go and buy maybe a nice watch, a Rolex watch, for example. Or maybe they go and buy a nice cars, a Bentley or a Porsche or Ferrari. No, if you're going to intend to be wealthy, this is the things that you won't do. And so this book actually tells you, it's not just people thinking about it, but it's from actual survey. And I think it's a good book for us as a roundup of the books that you should be reading. during this quarantine that we have, right? So those are three books that I will recommend you to read. And if you think that if you like these topics that I'm putting out, I will appreciate if you could subscribe and then click on the bell so that when I upload my next video, you will be notified. Right? Thank you again, and see you in the next one.